So secret number one, how to double the sales from your ad campaigns. Now, it does not matter if it is a webinar. It does not matter if it is a lead generation campaign. It does not matter if you're getting people to book appointments. It does not matter what the campaign is. Every single time we use the follow-up formula in a campaign, we get more conversions, literally up to double. And even more sometimes. So what I want to do, I'm just going to go off the slides just for a moment, and I want to draw you a bit of a diagram. So what we're going to do now is have a look at the formula. I'm just going to dive straight in to show you what it is. And there's three very simple parts to the formula. So there's number one part, number two part inside here, and number three part inside here. Now, I do not have an arts degree, okay? I have an accounting degree, but I don't have an arts degree. So excuse me for my drawing, if that's okay. So the first part is action. Second part is trust. And third part is conversion. Write that down. These are the three components we use in every single campaign. Action, trust, conversion. Every single campaign has action, trust, and conversion. And this is the formula that's made all of that money for all of those examples I mentioned before that we're going to go through in greater detail. So action. There are many action points in many campaigns. One is when someone opts in. That's an action that somebody has taken, yeah? Maybe when someone registers for a webinar. That's an action. We send an action-based email around that. Maybe someone misses a webinar. We send an action-based email of we want them to take the next step in the action, okay? Maybe someone attends. What we want to do here is we want to reward or reset to get them to take the next action. If it's, you know, one of these miss or attend or early exit or something like that. Now, this doesn't just have to be for a webinar. You know, they could register for an appointment with you. They could miss the appointment. They could attend to the appointment. They could early exit the appointment. You know, all sorts of things in there. Similar sort of thing. We reward if it's if they've taken the right action. If not, we're going to get them to reset and then take the action we want them to take. Okay, that's what we do in there. Then in the trust, all we want to do in this phase is simply build trust. Super important. We want people to know, like, and trust us, okay? Every campaign has a trust phase. Every campaign has an action phase. And then the conversion phase over here, this is where we get to sell, okay? Now, so many people, so many marketers just go sell, 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 and they might make a couple of sales up front, but they lose the quality of their list. They lose the quality of their database very, very quickly because they're taking this process. Now, I'm running out of room here, so bear with me just a moment. So in here for the action, yeah, we're going to send emails. We're going to send SMS, and we're going to send Bonjoro. Bonjoro is a message, and it's a personal message we can send to start developing a relationship, okay? It's a super cool thing that, that has done some amazing results. So we're going to set expectations. Inside the action, inside here, say if someone registers or they opt in, we're going to set some expectations, okay? In actual fact, this is in this section here. See, there's a little bit of overlap between action and trust, okay? This section here, in these emails, we can set some expectations and then we can over-deliver on those expectations in the future. It's a bit where we're sending an action email, but we're starting to build some trust in there as well, a bit of overlap. There's overlap in all of these. Okay, when we're building trust, we're going to send these by email. We're going to send them by SMS. Okay, email and SMS are the most important ones inside here. Okay, and then conversion over here, we're definitely going to send by email, potentially Bonjoro over here, and potentially SMS. It all depends on the campaign and how many SMSs we've sent. Sending SMS is very cool. We get a 98% open rate, and 90% of those are open in the first 30 seconds. So it's very cool sending SMS. But we need to be very careful with it, especially from a marketing sense. When we're sending people stuff that they've bought or stuff they've opted in for or information that's very cool to use and to develop a relationship. But to use it in a marketing sense, we can very easily, very quickly destroy that relationship with people in SMS and affect our database very, very quickly. So we've got to be careful with that. In here, so when someone takes some action, people are 60% more likely to take the next step when they're happy with what they've received. So when we're sending an action email after they've opted in or after they've bought something or something like that, people are 60% more likely to take the next step. So we might put some conversion into some of the action process there as well, because that's when they're most likely to do it, okay? And then there's this sweet spot in here where we're doing all three of them at once, and that happens rarely, but we've got to maximize on that as well. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just dive in. Let me move this across. I'm going to do that in sort of diagram kind of format or campaign kind of format, so you can have a look at how this relates back as well. There is 3 phases to a campaign. The first phase is action, second phase is trust, third phase, is conversion. Now I'm just going to look over on my other screen because that's where this is sitting at the moment. So most people do this. Most people have an opt-in page and people go to a thank you page, and that's all they do. They might send one email. Yeah, and so I'll just zoom this out a little. They might send one email just like this. Thank you, opt-in, thank you page, one email. That's all I have to do. And so many people do this and they think, this is all I have to do. I just have everything in my ebook, or I have everything in my report, and it tells everything inside there, and there's a link inside there, and that's going to do the conversions for me. I'm sorry to tell you, that's very 20 years ago, literally 15, 20 years ago, that worked. Now we have to do better than that in every single campaign. It doesn't matter if it's an ebook or a free series or whatever it is, or even a webinar or anything like that. We have to do better, okay? So what I'm going to do now is just show you what that picture looks like of doing better in a campaign. Bear with me a moment while I just get this. So we've got our action phase here. Which is when someone opts in, we're going to send them an email first. Then we're going to send them an SMS straight up. Now, every single campaign I run, I either have mobile number as optional or mobile number as compulsory. If it's a live event campaign, I have mobile number as compulsory. But if it's an opt-in, sometimes I make it optional. I love to use it because we can develop a relationship very, very quickly with SMS. So I love to use it. I mostly make it compulsory. So when someone opts in for a free report or an ebook or anything like that, they opt in, they get the first action email, which is the welcome or register or confirmation email with the report in there, okay? Then they get an SMS, then they get a Bonjoro. Every single time I record a personal message for every single person that opts in, every single person that registers for an event, especially if they're registering a week out, because we need to start building that relationship straight away. Those people that register on the day before or the final day, they're usually pretty good. Those people usually turn up, but we've got to build the relationship earlier. So Bonjoro, this is the action phase right here, okay? This is the minimum. Well, this is the minimum. This is what most people do, is opt in and email. We're going to introduce SMS. We're going to introduce Bonjoro. That's the minimum you need to do to get the results we're talking about. And I'll show you some of that shortly. Then we're going to go into this trust phase, okay? So after someone opts in, we're going to wait a day. We're going to send an email. We're going to send someone to a content page, okay? I might just remove these lines here just for a minute because they weren't meant to be there for now. And we'll talk about those in just a moment. We'll come back to them, but they're very important. So when we're building trust, someone goes through to a content page. We send an email, we send an SMS, okay? Wait 2 days. We send an email, we send an SMS, another trust building content page, okay? Another email, another SMS, another trust building content page. So that's the minimum we need to do for our trust building phase. And then we go into conversion. In this conversion phase, what we do here is we wait, and then we start sending sales emails, okay? These are trust building emails, getting people to click through and watch a video where you can teach them something they can be doing better. Down here, though, we want people to click through and go to our sales page, click through and go to whatever the call to action is for this campaign. We have one call to action. That call to action is where we want people to go through to here. In this case, I've done it as a sales page. It might be a booking page, it might be anything, it might be a webinar registration page. We might want people, after they opt in for this ebook, to then register for the webinar. So that's what it would be in that case. But all paths lead to that. Okay, I'm just going to shrink this down for a moment. So remember I said there's a bit of crossover. This is the action phase when someone has opted in. But because people are 67% more likely to take action when they've received what they like, so they've got their download on this page, what we're going to do is we're going to drive them across to the sales page on the thank you page there. That's number one. And then what we're going to do, because people are more likely to take the next step when they've received, 67% more likely when they've received something good and they're happy about that, when we send them to these content, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to drive them across to whatever the final call to action is from each of those pages. Now, we're not going to do it in the videos, though. We just do it on the page. We do a soft sell to get people to come along. And that's the basis of the follow-up formula. So action, trust phase, and conversion phase is the basis of it. Doesn't matter if it's a live webinar, doesn't matter if it's an automated webinar, doesn't matter if it's an ebook campaign, doesn't matter if it's an appointment booking campaign. That is the basis. This is what we do to make things happen.